the barbershops, I talk to the clients and the barbers just in regards to relationship with self, because that relationship with self is so important at any age, right? So today's topic, I usually come to the barbershops 20 minutes. That's why I ask 20 minutes of y'all time, right? Come every Saturday. And today's topic I went to other barbershops was, does a piece of paper change you? And ask anybody to answer. Does a piece of paper change you? No? Anything? Okay, so I can even go with, let's say, school. Let's say you got a A in class in like 4th grade. Does that change your character? Not at all. Let's say, no? Okay. Let's say you in high school and you need that last grade and you failed. So that means what? But you needed that class to graduate.
So it did change the course of what you were doing.
Okay, so it changed the trajectory of where your life was gonna go, right? Okay, so that's the potential yay or nay, right? Okay, so let's go as an adult. Let's say you end up finding a way to go to college, right? You got a degree, yet you find the dream job and you got a piece of paper that can show, hey, I got a degree, I can do this, blah, 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 right? But you don't have the experience. So they tell you, no, you can't do it. So does that no mean that you still can't be who you are?
Not at all.
Okay, not at all. Anybody else want to answer that? No? Okay. So let's go to another one. Let's say you get married. That piece of paper, does that change you?
It should.
I'm about to drop the sunglasses on. Why would a piece of paper of a marriage change you?
You should be changed before you get married. Don't get married if you ain't already changed.
Or get married, but no, you ain't changing. Or,
Don't do it.
well, okay, so you say don't do it. So, okay, I just met y'all, so I ain't gonna go a little deep right now. Okay, so let me. No, because some barbershops can't handle it. I'm like, it wasn't. Okay, so if you stated you should already be who you are before, so you shouldn't be changed, right?
You ain't the marriage type. Don't try to become the marriage type.
Okay, so what is the marriage type?
Monogamous, faithful, loyal, all the stuff you need to be.
Okay, so I usually ask the question to the men and to the women, have you ever considered marrying yourself?
Already did that. 41 years.
Okay, but if you answer for like a consensus, have most people ever dated themselves or even a friend to themselves?
That's something you gotta be mindful of, and you gotta remind yourself kind of to do. I feel like that kind of falls into self-love.
Right.
Character story.
Well, okay, so relationship with self is what I teach, right? I do that when I do online classes on relationship with self, right? So with self-awareness, would you say that you have the concept of you love yourself, right? So if you love yourself, is that a place where you know you can grow from that? He's a cutie patootie. He's so cute. Yo. So going with that concept of if you love yourself, would you say that you would find somebody who loves themselves just like you?
You attract what you are.
Right, but most times, are you attracting it? Are you attracting it, or they just kind of walk into the environment that you in? Okay, so you speak in my language, but I'm talking about majority of people who don't speak that language. When you meet somebody, most times what do you see? You see the physical appearance, right? So if you see the physical appearance, is that something that you trigger your protons, neutrons, electrons to say, hey, this might be the one? Because they look good.
Yeah, it's a chemical reaction.
But you ain't say nothing to them yet. So what kind of chemical reaction is there? So emotional, I would say, not hormonal. So when your hormones are a little bit off, would you say that it puts you at a place of not attracting you? Too cute. So, so in saying that, would you say that when do you become a friend to yourself?
And you down something.
In your downtime, as an adult or as a child? As an adult. So you ain't got no downtime as a child?
Well, as a child too, yeah. I'm just speaking from
Okay. So as an adult, you have downtime. Do you have children? Okay. Do you normally find yourself having more downtime now with children than when you did before without children?
No.
You have more downtime now. Oh, you had more downtime then. Okay. So I can speak for myself. As a parent, I've been able to find pockets of time to create downtime. Right? Because of course every stage, every level got every situation going on. It's always something different, right? Every level, right? So when you find that downtime, do you just sit with yourself? Like, do you find distractions? Do you find things to occupy your time? Okay, so if you're doing all the above, at one point does your mind say, turn all of this off?
Going to meditation mode.
Okay, you can go into meditation mode, but even if you go into the mode of, I just need stillness, right? Because I know sometimes if you actually listen to the highway, and I know for me at one point I used to live close to the highway, the highway actually sounds like waves, right? So that can put you in a different kind of meditative state too, right? So it's definitely put you in a place of quietness, right? So I was saying when I lived in a place where I was so close to the highway, the cars actually sounded like waves, like the ocean waves. So that to me could put me in a meditative state, right? I'm still in a mode of doing things, but I hear the water, right? So when you get to that meditative state, you're in a place of listening to your inner voice, which is louder than what you normally have, right? Because if you notice it, that inner voice speaks louder than your outer voice sometimes, right? Am I lying? No? Okay. He said I'm lying. Okay. So that inner voice is actually guiding you to your truth. Most times we're on a path of societal, like career, job, degree, family, I want to mess them up, life, you go down that path, and yet that's not even the purpose of your life. When I went to the other barber shop earlier, I talked about that because I said, does a piece of paper change your life or does it change you? And one of the barbers stated it does, because let's say if I'm working at a job, I need the piece of paper to get me to that next level. And I said, okay, let's say hypothetically, you got the paper, you got the higher income, and then here comes spirit throwing that life curve where that's not even the purpose of your life. So here you are going zigzag, like you run like an alligator, but then life comes and it's like, nah, go this way. And you have no choice but to go in the alignment, because here comes the divine working itself through you. You have a greater purpose to fulfill, right? And I always say, people say, well, how do you know what your purpose is? And I usually go back to when you're able to do this thing without being paid for it. Your compensation is your compassion. That's your life purpose. That's when you can identify, man, I know I'm called to do this. Because I can do this with or without money. The compensation is going to come, yet that's going to come when I'm aligned in the right direction, right? When you're willing to give what you have because you've grown from what you've learned. And I always tell people, turn that pain into purpose if you don't know even how to get there. When you're able to turn that pain to purpose, you can see, hey, this works for me or this doesn't work for me, right? So it's having to see, what does that look like? What pieces of paper would you say are even most important for you? Nothing? No? You like going to school? No? You shy? No? You don't like going to school? That's your mom right there? What does she enjoy doing? What does she enjoy doing? You said being a prissy girl? What'd you like about school? Just being outside? Oh, math. Okay, that's a really good thing. Okay, that's what's up. So what made you like math? Like you could see it in your mind, like all the numbers and everything? I'm gonna ask you in a little bit. He said, what about me? All right, play with his toys. Okay, okay. And play with sticks. Play with sticks outside. Okay, okay, that's what's up. Thank you for sharing. So, I see. So most times what I encourage is to always, sometimes let's say you don't know what your purpose is. I always suggest to go back to your childhood. There were things that you enjoyed doing when your mom or your dad probably called you and was like, oh, come back inside, or whatever you're doing, do something different. I need you to do something different. You know. Oh, I take my kids, I'm going to throw them in the grass one day. I have kids too, so trust me, I understand. It's a different avenue of distraction. But what it takes away from you is it teaches you not how to be a person. Because you end up being like a robot. Like, oh, I got to only work how the phone works. And you end up not knowing how to hold a conversation with somebody. Try it one day without the phone and try to have a conversation with somebody. See how it works, right? Because you're here as a human being. So he was saying, put the phones away. So the piece of papers, let's say what grade you in? Fifth, what grade you in? How old are you? Oh, okay. So that's 10th grade. Okay, so did it matter when you were in 5th grade whether you got an A or a B or a C or a D? Why not? But now that you're in 10th grade, what if you got, at his age, what if you got all Fs? Would you have made it to the 10th grade? Why not? Why not? Because you fail. What happens when you fail? So you got to redo it again, right? Okay. So as a child, do you not have failings? Okay. Yeah, what's the difference? Because I ask you all the time. It's not a trick question. What's the difference between something failing and a failure? And a failure is... You heard what he said, right? So he said failing is when you tried, but it didn't work out, right? But you got to you try again. It didn't work out. A failure is somebody who doesn't try. Right. That's what's up. So going back to that 5th grade level of concepts, what if you didn't do what you had to do in 5th grade? Would you have been in the 10th grade at 15? What age would you have been in the 10th grade? Probably 17, 18, right? So you would have been kind of behind your class, right? So what do you want to do with yourself? You want to do college. Why? What you want to do it for? Do sports. What else besides sports? Okay. You like building things? You like buildings, like architecture? Like what type of engineering? Mechanical, civil? There are many levels of engineering. Mechanical, like fixing cars, building planes. Okay. So have you looked into programs that can help you? Because you're already in high school, and I tell all my kids, high school is the easiest point of your life. Why? Because everything after that, it ain't free. Okay? So them 4 years, enjoy and do everything that they offer at your school or whatever programs they have, because you're at that second sponge age. That first sponge is your toddlerhood. That second sponge is the teenager. Now you're of age to do things, right? Get into that mechanical engineering. Get to those trade schools so you can learn how to fix cars or learn how to fix planes, or, the more specific you can get, the avenue of revenue you can build, right? Okay, so getting back to that question today, does a piece of paper change you? It doesn't. Why not? It's not a trick question. Huh? What'd you say? Oh, I didn't hear what he was saying. What'd you say? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Right, that's the true thing. So with the piece of paper, I was given different examples where it could be schoolwork, it could be career, it could be relationship. The paper should not change the integrity you have within yourself, right? What's integrity? Do you know? Here's where your phone comes into play. Your phone is your encyclopedia. So Google that. Google define integrity. That's what you should be using your phone for learning capabilities, right? What'd you get? Okay, do you understand what that means? I can even break it down a little in more layman's terms. Be who you are when nobody's watching you. Don't change. I mean, I use the word don't or try. Try is not a real word. Attempt to be your best self when no one else is around you. Right? So I'll tap into a piece of what I talk about when I talk to the fellas is that women, we have an intuition, right? We automatically know certain things when, we go through certain things in our life of intuition. Men have just as much intuition as we do. We equal, we human. Y'all bleed, we bleed. We just believe sometimes a little different, but still. Men have intuition too, right? So most men say they do what? They turn the intuition off because they'd rather not use their logic, they'd rather use their emotion, right? You understand what I'm saying when I say that? So when I say that, I mean to say, when you have classmates, I'm not going to call them your friends because there are levels to friendships. When you have classmates, is there ever some classmates where man, I can't hang out with them? You know that. Is it just by their vibe or is it just by you just like, I see how you are, this ain't gonna work? You see how you are. Okay, so you're assessing the environment. Okay, good. So you know where your energy is supposed to grow, right? You know where it don't grow. Okay, so with that, as a high schooler, this is where life teaches you how to balance. Most high schoolers have regular academics, sports, clubs, and time with friends, right? Because adult life going to teach you how to balance. If you don't know how to balance in high school, adult life going to show you how to balance, right? So it's having to know fun, work, and then balance. Before all of that comes what? Self. Self should always be your priority, right? I remember meeting a few gentlemen at a different other barbershops where they were like, oh, but I feel like my priority are my children and my wife. And I was like, no. Before them, there was you. Before them, there was you. So do your best to not lose in your own life. Because we could always get caught up in I'm chasing this, here's a new thing I got to get, everybody's trending that, and I don't have a thought process for myself, right? So do your best to find who you are first before anything else. Okay? All right. Huh? That's what I do.
That's actually becoming like a lost art right now. Really,
Well, yeah, I was going to say. So, right. The innocence, right? When you see that the light out of their eyes. Well, yeah. Hey, how you doing? So, but it's one of those where you have to find yourself. It's one of those where you got to find yourself before anything else, right? So it can seem like it's lost, but it's only lost to those who haven't found themselves. So I would definitely say to even to those that you encourage around you, always encourage them to strengthen their voice inside themselves. To be able to know what that inner voice sounds like. Do you know what your inner voice sounds like? The voice inside your head, yeah. We have many voices in our head, right? But we got to know which one is ours, right? So with that, once you know that, because they're different voices, you can differentiate what's negative and what's positive. You just got to ask them, this ain't my voice. Because there are going to be times when your voice is going to test you. You know, a wise woman told me, thought made a man kill himself. And it's not a physical death, it's a mental. When you basically give yourself over to somebody else's thought process. Kind of like what he was saying, you become the trend. You be the lost art of being who you are, right? Know what your thoughts are. Know who challenges the thoughts, who creates the thoughts. Okay? So today's topic was, does a piece of paper change you? Right? Any questions or concerns, comments? I am Denise Camille. I am the Urban Love Therapist. I am the spiritual practitioner where I offer couples counseling, individuals with anxiety, and children 10 and up. And I teach classes on relationship with self-awareness. Because most times we're not even having a relationship with ourselves before we have a relationship with somebody else. You know? So it's always about healing. If you don't know what fruits you're bearing, you haven't gotten to the right root. Okay? So I'll be in here, every Saturday at 1 o'clock. I go different barbershops. And if the vibe is right, I'll keep coming back. All right? Any questions? No, y'all quiet today.